high functioning alcoholic. No one knows. I love a good rom-com, and a lot of people said this book is like a early 2000 rom-com. So our little sister needs her in order to stay alive. If Evelyn wants to save her sister, yeah, your girl's posting this video later today, and I just finished recording a morning routine for Monday. So yeah, but if you're like wondering, I don't post on Sundays no more. I post on Monday just because it gives me extra time to edit videos. Plus I don't like editing 2 things at once because Sundays are usually like my podcast days. Like I don't mind editing 2 videos, but when I have like to post at the same time and I want to post like my YouTube video at a certain time and then my podcast, it can be very tricky, and then try to get other things for my podcast for that episode out. So I moved it to Monday, and I'm going to start posting consistently on my channel. So yeah, but the reason why I'm doing this last minute, literally, because I have been having like a headache. I'm on my cycle too, so yeah. But I'm gonna show you all the books that I'll be reading in the month of April. Today is April 3rd, so I also have more books that I'm planning to read that I was supposed to finish, but I am planning to get through all the books to get up like to my Goodreads goal and all of that. But let's just get into today's video, besties. If you are new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the community, join the family. I'm trying to get to 2K subscribers, so please share this video to your friends, your family, your classmates, whoever who likes book stuff.
But I do bookish videos, routines. Like I literally recorded a morning routine for this video, and I do like lifestyle type content. So if you like those type of videos, please hit the subscribe button.
But let's just get into all of the books that but these are all of the books that I'm going to read. One just fell again that I'm going to read during this month. So let's just get into today's video, besties. The first book that I want to read is Crossed. So this is I think the 5th book in this series, and I'm actually almost done with this series. After this book I have one more series, and then I'll be finished with a Never After series. I'm really loving this series so much, so if you've read this book, let me know. But I'm gonna read what it says on the back. So it says, "He is the righteousness and she is the sin. Father Cade Frederick is a holy man brought up in the streets of Paris. He has dedicated his life to the church, but there's a monster that lingers just beneath the surface, a sickness, one that bleeds darkness and feeds on the damned. When he tasked to become a priest in Festival of Vermont, a town both beautiful in architecture and riddled with despair, his sickness sings, demanding he rid the place of evil. Amaya Paquette, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I will like literally put it like on the screen. It's like French, because it takes like, I don't know if this has like a French inspo into it, but the last name is like French. So Amaya is a festival of beautiful mystery. She spends her days caring for her young brother and her nights transforming into Esmeralda, dancing for the greedy eyes and shameless lips. Although she longs for love, she shies away from companionship, afraid of being abandoned again. When Father Cade laid eyes on Amaya, he finds himself ensnared, convicted. She using witchcraft to lure him to her. He can't eat, can't breathe, can't think unless it's for her, or unless it's of her. And temptation is a devastating mistress. she is his weakness, so he decides he will be her demise, even if it means killing the only woman he might ever love. So reading that, it is giving Hunchback of Notre Dame vibes, because it takes place in France. That movie, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, takes place in France, and that was one of the characters' name, which is, it takes place, or she is Esmeralda. So yeah, she transforms into Esmeralda in the book. So hopefully I will like this book. I really like the cover, especially with the bell, like the bell with the little crack. I really love the cover, but this is one of the books that I will be reading in the month of April. And look at all my stuffed animals. Like, I added bows. I gotta fix this bow, but I added like a bow to this one. And then like my boyfriend got me this capybara and this one, Berry and Daisy. But yeah, I just want to show y'all because y'all love it. But yeah, I have little capybaras and a jelly cat. I have like 3 jelly cats because my boyfriend also got me like a tiny penguin jelly cat before we dated. But yeah, but let's just get back into the video. So the next book is called Final Offer by, okay. So the next book is called A Final Offer by Lauren Asher. So this is the last book of the Dreamland Billionaire series. I have read the first 2, and I don't know why it's taking long for me to read the last one. I'm like, all of the books, so most of these books that I'm going to read in the month of April are part of series that I'm about to finish or in the middle of. And the books that I haven't finished yet, that are like, that I was supposed to read in March, but your girl was like in a huge reading slump, but now I'm not, are also part of a series. So yeah, and the reason why I don't have a March TBR is because when I was editing, most of the audio cut it out. So hopefully it doesn't happen in this video. But let's just get into the back, the synopsis. So like I said, this is Final Offer by Lauren Asher, and it's about the Kane brothers. Everyone gossip about behind closed doors, trust fund brats washed up. So this is about Callahan, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's you know, gets talked about. He's a washed up athlete, high functioning alcoholic. No one knows the real him but her, Lana Castillo, his childhood best friend and the only woman he ever loved. When he broke her heart 6 years ago, he promised to never return to Lake Wistra. He kept his word until his grandmother will change everything to receive his inheritance. And I'm not reading it word for word, I'm just summarizing it so y'all can know. So, to receive his inheritance, which he tasked with spending a summer at his family lake's house before selling it. The request was simple in theory until his entire plan blew up on the first day. Turns out Lana doesn't just live at the house, but she claims to own it too. And then Alana, which she goes by Lana, she falls in love with Callahan was a mistake. So falling in love with Callahan was her like mistake. He told her that he destroyed her heart. So because he said, he told me so before, destroying my heart and our friendship. So he destroyed her heart and their friendship, because it was friends first, then lovers. And then that was like 6 summers ago. And then he promised to never come back. She believed him, but then he showed up, intended to sell his grandfather's lake house. The biggest flaw is in his plan is that her name is on the deed. So this is giving friends to lovers, well, childhood friends to lovers to exes, and I'm guessing back to lovers, because he promised her that he would never come back, but because his grandmother called him to come to the lake house that she's also owned, and he's trying to plan to sell the lake house. They probably will fall in love, but it would be like hard for them to fall in love. Like they would try to like distance themselves from each other and then fall in love slowly but surely. So that's why I'm getting like childhood best friends to lovers to ex to back to lovers for the trope. But yeah, so the next book, which was kind of like this book, I was like, do I really want to read it now, because I have a lot of books that I'm going to get to. So probably this will be like the last book I read, because it's a big ass book. But this is Twisted Lies. This is the last book in the Twisted series by Anne Huang. I can't wait until she published, I think it's the 6th book in the King of Sin series, and I think it's the last book in a series, and I can't wait to get it. Hopefully my boyfriend can let me go to the bookstore, because yes, I have enough books, but like I gave some books away and sold some books, so like I deserve a new book, you know. Like if you get me, put it down in the comments, but like I deserve a new book. But well, 2, because there's another book of a series that I want that I already read the first book, and then technically 3, there's a series that I'm restarting. I only read like the first book in that series, and I'm going to restart it, so I'm gonna probably do that either next month or June. Probably June, because I'm going out of town in June. I'm going to North Carolina to meet my boyfriend's family. But yeah, but let's just get into the video. So this is Twisted Lies. This is the last book in the Twisted series. So a charming, deadly, and smart enough to hide, Christian Harper is a monster dressed in a perfect tailored suit of a gentleman. He has a little use for morals, even less use for love, but he can't deny the strange pull he feels towards the woman living just 1 floor below him. Fun fact, I know what this book is about, because I have the book on my phone in iBooks, and I have the audiobook, so I might actually restart it when I do read this book. I might restart it and just like read it with that, or read it on my hot girl walk when I ever do that, and just put my bookmark, because I know people do that. But yeah, I have like read like some of it, but not the whole book, so I really want to read the whole book. And it's been like 2 years when I started Twisted Lies, and that was like when I was, yeah, I don't want to talk about that, but I have it on audiobook. But just putting that out there. But let's just get back into it. He has a little use for the morals and even less for love, but he can't deny the strange pull that he feels towards the woman living just 1 floor below him. She's the object of his darkest desires, the only puzzles he can't solve. And when the opportunity gets closer to her arises, he breaks his own rules to offer her a deal she can't refuse. Every monster has their weakness. She is his obsession, his addiction, his only exception. Sweet, shy, and introverted despite her social media fame, Stella Alonso is a romantic who keeps her heart in a cage. Between her 2 jobs, she has little time of desire for a relationship, but when a threat from her past drives her into the arms and a house of the dangerous man she ever met, she's tempted to let herself feel something for the first time in a long time. Because despite Christian cold nature, he makes her feel everything when she's with him. Passionate, protected, and truly wanted. There is a love twisted in a secret and tainted by lies. And when the truth are finally revealed, they could shatter everything. So if I can remember, this is like fake dating, if I'm not lying. This is a fake dating. And the reason why I say that, because I listened to a few of the couple of chapters on the audiobook, like back in 2023 and 2024, and so 2 years ago. And I remember them meeting, and then they had to go to like a party, and then they would be like, okay, we're gonna pretend that we're together. They had like their agreement, and that's how I remember. I could be right, I could be wrong, but that's how I remember Twisted Lies is fake dating that turns into real dating. So yeah, but this is one of the books that I'll be reading this month, and it's by my favorite author, Anna Huang. I have like a few, but she's one of my favorites. So the next book that I will be reading, this book just got, actually the author of this book is, she wrote another book that is coming out, I don't know when, but I follow her on Instagram and I know that. And she also now has a publishing agency, so she republished this book, but it's the Pink and Daisy on Sunday by Lillian Senkati. I think that's how you pronounce it. I got this for my birthday last year. I read the other book from her, so I can't wait to read this. I have been seeing this on my Pinterest board. I've been seeing this on YouTube, Instagram. So I was like, I need to read this book, especially in the spring. So I decided to read it in April. So, and this is a book that I will be reading. So it's about Daniela Daisy Maria wanted love. It's all she hoped for when she watching endless rom-coms every Friday night. What she hadn't hoped for was to find it in her childhood best friend Levi. It was the hand-trembling, heart-thumping kind of love that wasn't supposed to happen when you saw your best friend. But it all ended when he didn't feel the same way, and she vowed to never see him again. 4 years later, and one night in a crowded bar in the West Village, there he was, just as perfect as ever. Maybe it was the lighting or the way his hair was curled above his brow, but she couldn't say no when he asked her to be his fake girlfriend for his sister's wedding. Another chance at being his friend and mending her immature mistakes. How was she supposed to say no? The way a possible rejection from her dream grad school quickly became the least of her problems, with old resurfacing feelings at every stage, romantic interactions and stolen glance. She struggles to find confidence. She couldn't help but think that maybe she could have said no to protect her heart from a second time. So it is fake dating, childhood best friends, fake dating, go to her sister's wedding. So yeah, and it is pink, like this book, and I've heard good things about this book, so hopefully I would like it, because of the 2000 rom-coms. I love Legally Blonde, and let me put that there. So yeah, I can't wait to read it, and just seeing her journey on Instagram, because I follow her, gives me so much hope. Like, if y'all don't know, I'm writing my own book. I am about to work on my my last draft, and I might start next week because I have so many things going on. I'm relearning my Spanish. I'm doing some things that I need to do by a certain deadline because I'm volunteering at my hospital that I'm like a patient at. That I can't really like give too much information, but I am volunteering. It's through like, it's a virtual thing, so I don't have to go to Nashville, so that is good. But I am volunteering, and I'm just going through a lot, trying to find a job, this and that. So I just been putting my book to the side, and I don't have the money at the moment to like get an editor. So I'm going to like read it on my Kindle, because I heard a lot of authors say like read your book on your Kindle, try to find some more mistakes and do that, and then change it. I already know I'm changing like most of the plot again in this last draft. Not like really the plot, but a lot of things that I could have not added in the first place. But that's just me. But let's just get into the last two books. So this one is called Our Infinity Fate, and this is by Lauren Stevens. I got this back in March of last year on Book of the Month. I do not get more books from there because of a lot of controversy of Book of the Month. So yeah, but I'm gonna read a little synopsis. The Invisible Life of the of Addie LaRue meets This Is How You Lose the Time War in this fantastical and epic love story that defines death as two souls reincarnate through the centuries. Evelyn can remember all her past lives. She can also remember that in every single one she'd been murdered before her 18th birthday by Adrian, a supernatural being linked to her soul. The problem is that she's quite fond of the life she's in now. And her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. If Evelyn wants to save her sister, she has to find the century-old devil who haunts her through each life before they find her first. Figure out she's being haunted and finally break their curse. And try not to fall in love again. So this is giving me fantasy, a romance, a little. So romanticy in the mix. She is trying to go back to find this demon, this devil, whatever, so, and kill him basically, so she could stay so she can actually see her 18th birthday and see more years upon her 18th birthday, because she always died on her 18th birthday, and especially be there for her sister because her sister really needs her, and her sister's her younger sister. So that actually seems like a good summary. I have never heard a lot of things about this book, so hopefully this book is good. But yeah, so the next book and the last book that I'll be reading is called Heartless Hunter by Kristen. I'm not pronouncing her last name. I got this back in 2024. Yeah, it's 2 years later and I haven't read this book. But anyways, I have heard a lot of good things about this book. It's a romantasy, if I'm not mistaken. So her deadliest enemy or her greatest love. That's what it says on the cover right here. But I'm gonna read the summary. So enemies to lovers, okay, love doesn't get more higher stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love in a best-selling Kristen C. I do not want to butcher her last name. Latest romantic fantasy. So it's a romantasy. So on the night of Rune life changed forever, blood ran in the streets now in aftermath of devastating revolution. Witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts, ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is, spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vampant young socialite. Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a rich vigilant who rescued her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, she decided to throw the witch hunter off her scent and gain the intel she desperately needs by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp. He's a notorious, unforgiving witch hunter loyal to the revolution, and too late Rune realized she might be falling for him. Gideon loathed the decadence and superficially Rune represents, but when he learns the Crimson Moth has been using Rune merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, he inserts himself into her social circle by pretending to court her. He soon realized that beneath her beauty and shallow facade is someone fiercely intelligent and tender who feels like his perfect match. Except, what if she's the very villain he's been hunting? And I'm sorry, I've been butchering a lot of words, but yeah. And like I said, I also heard more good opinions on this book in the last year or two than bad opinions, so I can't wait to read this book. But let me just get everything ready and then we're gonna close out this series. Okay, besties, so these are all the 6 books that I'll be reading in the month of April. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. I really want to know what's your opinion. Even though I'm someone who will still read a book no matter what someone else's opinion is or Goodreads reviews, I just still read the book because we're all different readers. But if you have any book recommendations and any of the category, fantasy, romanticities, romance, thrillers, because I really want to get into thrillers, please let me know in the comments down below. But I really hope that you like this video, besties. If you made it this far, please comment the stack of book emojis, and I know that you're a real one. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, besties. I love you guys, and remember to always go after your goals no matter what, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.